Hey brothers and sisters in Christ and people of YouTube. It's a real strange feeling, like when you're walking by yourself, when you're just walking with God and following Him, and you don't have that many people in your life. Like, you keep your circle small, even your online circle, and people get envious of that. They get envious of the fact that you don't have to go to dinner parties with your missus. You don't have to go to stupid outings you don't want to go to. Like, you're out there doing whatever you feel like when you feel like, and like even your work, you turn up when you feel like, you leave when you feel like, and it's like everything in your life is changeable, and a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people are working 9 to 5, barely getting by, and they're miserable because they get home and then they've got a partner that doesn't support them, or I think I just swallowed that fly. Anyways, bit extra bush tucker, I guess. Yuck. At least there's one less that'll be buzzing around me. Anyway, as I was saying before, I was rudely molested by a fly. Freaking being out of sight, out of mind from people, you think that that would make your life easier, but it seems like people want you more, or they want to destroy you more when you're out of sight, out of mind. Like, the more you cut people off, the more pissed off they get with you, even though the relationship you had with them probably wasn't a healthy one, and they can't accept just the rejection. And this happens with the narcissist a fair bit. See, a narcissist is so fragile and weak and can't handle rejection that when you do cut them off, like, it destroys them, and they become your biggest fan. They just keep following everything you do. They're seething with anger. They just want to destroy you, and for no reason. And the funniest thing is, you got the one side that wants to destroy the other side, and then there's my side where I just don't even want to think about this person anymore. I just want to move on with my life, and it's like, every day is a brand new day since I left this person, and there's colour in my day. I'm really in control of my own actions, what I do. There's so many people in the world that think they have it all. They got power, they got money, but they've got a horrible wife at home. They've got a miserable home life. They've got kids that just don't respect them or just don't listen to them. And they'll pretend that they do. They'll tell everyone, oh yeah, they listen to me, blah, blah, blah. They'll tell you a bunch of BS, but at the end of the day, they're not happy. And, these people, 90% of them try to destroy me for no reason. All I'd done is show up with a smile on my face, showed that I was genuinely happy, and they all hated that. And the same thing happened to Jesus. He showed people happiness and joy, and they killed him for it. Like, he was an innocent man, and fully man and fully God, and people killed him for it. And it's the same as you tell someone you're a flat earther. They will move mountains to try and change your opinion, and if they can't change your opinion, they try and kick you out of the club. Like, you can't be in here with those radical ideas. Don't come to us with your non-brainwashed mind. It's really sad that people can't accept others' opinions. Like, I thought that was a sign of intelligence, when you had an open mind and you could share people's opinions. But sometimes having an open mind is not a good thing. Like, I shared a story probably about a month ago. I think it was about, I'd met these French people, and like they wanted to play chess. One guy wanted to play chess after he'd been in the club, and I'd been like, oh yeah, I play some chess, and he was like, oh, we got wine at our house, we got cheese, we got this, we got that. You can stay in one of the other rooms, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And I was thinking, oh yeah, that sounds really nice. And I was telling this story to another customer tonight, and they're Generation Z, I think, whatever the last generation is. And she's like, oh no, they weren't talking about chess, they were talking about swingers parties. And I'm like, how do you get that? And she goes, because I'm Gen Z, and that's kind of code for it. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. And then it kind of like really played on my mind later on. I was like, is she right about that? Could that be true? Because, I was just going to play chess. That would have been very funny. Rocking up there and it's eyes wide shut, and I've got a chessboard there going, aren't you cold? Yeah. Anyway, it's probably I dodged a bullet there by saying I was tired that night. But hopefully it's not for that. Because I don't think they were Gen Z, these people. So, but I don't know. I don't know what goes on in the world anymore. Like, I'm just trying to, be friendly to people, get to know new people. And, yeah, having the job that I have, I meet so many people. Some good, some bad. Got someone else texting me non-stop like, oh, sorry I didn't pay the other night. And it's like, well, you probably can stop texting. But yeah, I don't know. It's all good in the end. God just gives it all back to me anyway. And yeah, it's just crazy how busy it gets every night. Small inconveniences are not going to bother me. But yeah, it's just funny because I've given out my number to so many people, and it's just, I'm getting all these weird texts all the time. Before, with the narcissist, I was nothing, I was trash. I was something you throw in the garbage heap. That's how she treated me, and that's how all her friends treated me. And they were only loyal to her because she paid for their food, and she bought them foods they liked. She had to go out of her way to cook them. There's a passage in the Bible about giving a food offering to idols and that. And I fully believe now that the narcissist was doing things like this, because she'd cook some sort of chicken or pork dish, and she'd let this stuff stew and boil for over half an hour. What that does to meat? It's not good, And I just thought that's probably the reason, because she's given it as a food offering to the demons before she gives it to people to eat. And the narc was always praying to other gods. Yeah, I remember I caught her one night praying to other gods and putting something under those trees of hers, because as soon as I come out, she bolted. I'd never seen someone look so guilty before. And it's like, the narcissist is just like a big child mentally, and when they see someone that's like a father figure to them, that is going to be pissed off, of course they're going to flee. And even with all the nasty things the narc did, she looked up to me in a lot of ways, and so it wouldn't surprise me if she looked at me in that way as well. But yeah, they're just crazy birds, because who burns incense under a tree? It's just weird, right? And sometimes they'll get your photo and they'll do weird stuff to it, and their witchcraft ritual, trying to curse you with photos, and yeah, all this weird stuff. I've always had long hair since I was a kid. Like, I'm 47 now, and I've got long, thick hair. It's always grown, and I guess that's why God keeps sending me to Samson, because he had long hair as well. But the narcissist used to come along and pluck my eyebrows, because I'd get like these inch or 2-inch long eyebrow hairs that would suddenly just sprout up out of nowhere. I've got a few of them now, you can probably see them, but basically she'd pluck them and she'd put them aside, and I used to think, it's just the Asian wife doing their cultural thing where they look after the man, but no, I think she was actually putting them aside for all the witchcraft that she does. And I hadn't realised that someone could be so evil to be doing things like that. And then I looked up on the Chat GPT, black magic in Vietnam, and where she lived as a kid was one of the common places for black magic and witchcraft. And it's like, really? And you just don't consider these things when you're in a relationship, that someone would be doing vile things like this. But hey, just because you don't believe in witchcraft and black magic doesn't mean it's not going to affect your life. Like, it literally is a thing. And if you've watched any videos of people doing voodoo on YouTube before, it's pretty scary stuff. And that's related to black magic. So yeah, you got to be careful of everything your partner's doing too. I'm not saying you should keep tabs on them, but if you see too many pot plants in your house, more than you actually need, or lots of ash around the house, start questioning it. Start looking into, hey, why do we have ash around the house? Why does it look like we've got grave dirt in the pot plants? Why would you need that? These sorts of things. And how do you know what the difference between dirt is and grave dirt? Well, I'd imagine grave dirt would be pretty old and look like really no nutrients in it. But they do these things. They'll go to a grave and they'll go and grab some of the soil around, some of the dead people, and they'll use it for their rituals. And I didn't want to believe that when I first heard it, but then I looked at some of the pot plants we had, and it was like, oh yeah, the soil looks pretty old actually. It just doesn't look like the sort of stuff you get down Bunnings. And then there was the case of there was always like bits of sand and soil on the kitchen bench, just like someone had been trying to stuff some into a pot plant. And why would you do this when someone's sleeping? Why would you be doing stuffing pot plants when it's night time, when someone else is sleeping? It could only be you doing wicked things, right? Because why would you need to suddenly stuff pot plants at night time? So this is how you figure it all out, it just doesn't make sense. That's why you have to question everything that goes on in your household, because just because you have good intentions and you are a good person doesn't mean your family share those beliefs or want to be like you. And I see so many unhappy married people since I split from my ex, and I've come to the realization that there's a lot more people settling than demanding what they want. There's a lot more people going, oh, I better just take this cow because the milk's good, and I'm probably not going to be able to get better, and if I don't take this one, I'm not going to be able to lock her in later, and all these stupid ideas that play through your head, and then you get stuck with a woman that just hates your guts, or at the very least talks down to you all the time. And this seems to be something that's been going on more and more in this generation. It's just like there's all these women have this idea that men are disposable, that you can just get the grass is greener wherever you go. And I know for a fact that the narcissist thought the grass was greener, but it wasn't, because it took her so long to move out. I think people are so subjected to fear nowadays. Like it's almost like, I've been with a partner for 10 years and if I leave her, I'm going to have nobody. I'm not going to be able to restart my life, and life's going to be hard, and I just don't want to be sleeping alone, and all these stupid ideas that keep you miserable and stuck. And probably with a narcissistic partner, like you can't just go, we got to keep doing it for the children, or you've got to actually do what's in your heart. Like, if you don't start living for yourself a little bit, you'll never be happy in life. And in my case, I was given no choice, because I had someone that never respected me. Anything I did was played down to virtually nothing. Even though I bought them a house, I paid all their bills off, all their debts off. I made it so they could see their parents twice. Financially, just flying to Vietnam and that, and that money was no object for them. My parents could just run around with my money and just act like kings, and all of that was played down to nothing. And the narcissist would make you coffee every now and again, and she'd be telling people, oh, look at everything I did for him, oh, I made him a bowl of soup, look at what I did for him. It's like, but you poisoned that soup. You put shit in it to try and kill me. So how is that doing something for me? But this is how they operate. And then when questioned about her behaviour and the way she treats me and the lack of respect that I was getting in the household, she left. So I didn't have a chance, any other option but to rebuild, or I could have just kept being a punching bag for someone that didn't deserve me. I remember I had this beanbag for years. It was like a really cool beanbag I bought when I first became a Christian, and I was living very minimalist. So I bought this beanbag just so I could, lay down and read the Bible. And when I moved here, I bought it up, so I still had it, and it cost a lot for the beans in it too. Like it was a huge beanbag, like a full size one for an actual adult. And I love this thing, and I used to just read my Bible in it all the time. But then when I bought it to the narcissist, it became her kid's beanbag, because he decided he loves it and wants to claim it. And so I'd let him use it sometimes. I say that's not yours, but you can use it, And one day, him and his friends, being rough on there, they split. They made this big split in it. It was about probably about 6 centimeters long, right? So there was some beans coming out, and I said to her, oh look, your kids split the beanbag, can you stitch it up? Oh, it's not a big deal, is it? It's just made out like I was being real hard on her. And then she's like, all right, I'll do it. And then a month rolled by, and she still hadn't done it, So I just, I pulled her aside with her kid, and I said, you guys are so disrespectful. I said, I've asked you something simple. I said, if you break something, you need to make it right and fix it, or buy another one. I said, that's just how the world works, And I went to, I just basically went to town. I just gave him a good half an hour talking to about, look, respect and the way you treat people. And the narcissist didn't want to take accountability. And I was like, I made her take accountability. I was like, look, your kid has done this, and you said you would take care of it and fix it. And then one day, mysteriously for some reason, she decided to actually do as I'd asked. But it wasn't immediate. It wasn't like, oh, I've pissed off my partner. He seems really upset about this. I should make it right. It's like, oh, let's wait 2 weeks and then I might do it. Like everything was always too much for her, and she was always too busy. And this is the kind of people I see going around as well in life with their partner, and none of them seem happy. Like there's all these jokes on Facebook about how, I said my wife's cooking was shit, and then there's a photo of a black eye, and then it's like, oh, my wife's cooking's really improved, and it's supposed to be funny. And this is like literally how women treat men. Like maybe they don't do physical violence, but they talk down to them, they treat them like shit, and then the men are just putting up with it. Yeah, and it's like nobody's got any courage anymore. Like everyone's just willing to put up with people that make them miserable, that just ruining their life, that draining their lives. And it's like, money's not everything. Status is not everything. This is just like how people want to judge you. But if that's what they're judging you on, these are not people that you want to know anyway. And sometimes you gotta completely move town. You just gotta leave an area just because the people there are trash. Like the ones, maybe not the whole area's people, but the people that you've been hanging out with are. And the best way to get away from them is just to move. But a lot of people are just too scared to be by themselves. And the thing is, when you're by yourself, that's when you come up with your greatest ideas. That's when you start to really grow and heal and give yourself self-love. Because the only way you're going to attract the right people in your life is to be healed yourself, and to to do the work on yourself. Like whatever abuse you've suffered as a kid, or whatever things were creating weaknesses in your armor, you got to plug those and then start putting out good energy for people, so you can attract the right people. And it's like, imagine a mosquito, right? There's a mosquito will go around looking for things to feast on, and it might see a person and go, oh, I like that, I like the smell of that, and then it'll go and attack a certain person, drink their blood, But then, if you change your diet, if you eat certain things, the mosquito will be like, I really don't like that. I'm going to stay away from that smell. I'm going to stay away from that scent. Like they move away from it, And the thing is, it's the same with a narcissist. If you become unattractive to a narcissist, you don't have any more narcissists in your life. So basically, what does that mean? Well, if you come across as someone that's unmanipulative, someone that has well-enforced boundaries, and someone that's just too strong for the narcissist, they will just leave you alone, and that'll work with every single narcissist in your life. You just need to do the work. But yeah, God bless all of you. Remember, Jesus loves you. I love you, and have a blessed day in Jesus' name.